Hello, my name is Jacob Stowe. I am from Hendersonville, North Carolina. I will be attending Montreat College in the fall of 2020. I plan to major in cybersecurity while I will also play baseball. So why major in cybersecurity? Well, it's something that I've had an interest in for a good little while. It's a hot growing major and something I can look to make a successful career out of. I like to make a positive impact, in everything I do. Whether it's projects, jobs, or even people I come in contact with. Like I said, I've always been interested in it. In my family, I've always been, the tech guy, the one to set up the TV or the computer or a new phone or something like that. I've always just had an knack for stuff like that. I'd like to change society for the better. I mean, obviously, change can't happen overnight, but where there's a will, there's a way, and I firmly believe that. I mean, it's no secret that the world isn't a very safe place right now, and I would really just like to do everything I can to hopefully work for the U.S. government one day and try my best to make the world a better, safer place for everybody. And not just the United States. Whether it's, it could be fighting off hackers from other countries, or the United States is just on the list of the people they're going to go after. It goes back to serving my country. I mean, obviously, I'd rather serve the people of my country than any other country. I'm a very proud American, and I'm very proud and very lucky to be able to say that. So attending Montreat College is actually it's been a dream of mine for quite a while now. I moved up to North Carolina about 5 years ago. I used to live in St. Augustine, Florida. My family and I we've always done fall pictures at Montreat College. We've done that for the past couple of years. My mom, she works for Four Seasons Hospice. She's always up in Black Mountain, drives past Montreat all the time, and just the education that I'd be getting, at Montreat is something that's not much anything else is comparable to. I mean, it's as well as the education. It also, I believe that Montreat really focuses on the morals of the education as well. The job placement after school, especially in the cybersecurity, I've heard that, and I've seen, the numbers and the percentages of how students after graduation, the job placement rate is really a high number. It's very comfortable number for me to be able to make an investment in my education. Like I said, it's very comfortable for me to be able to make that investment and be confident that I'm going to be able to get a good job after I graduate. I'll also be a student athlete. Montreat is like I said, Montreat has always been a dream school to go to. It's beautiful, and eventually when the baseball offer came in, I was like, well, I'm gonna accept that. I actually went to a baseball camp at Montreat, and I guess I impressed Coach McDonald and Coach Beck and Coach Bonifay, and they got in touch with me and they offered me, and I accepted, and so here I am. Another really cool thing about Montreat is it's one of a kind. I mean, the Christian morals, because of just the fact that this was Billy Graham's school, is something that's very cool to me, because I mean, you can't find that anywhere, and I think that's something that's really cool, and definitely a pull factor for me to attend here. And like I said earlier, it's close to home. It's about an hour away. So I mean, if anything should happen, an emergency or whatever, I could be there for my family, or likewise they could be there for me. So moving on to a recent cyber attack. This was the Equifax data breach, and basically what happened. Equifax is it's a big I think credit reporting company, and a lot of information was stolen. People's identities, um, social security numbers, driver's license numbers, names, birthdays, and home addresses, and that's pretty much everything you need to steal someone's identity. And then to go straight just to the money piece, they stole credit card numbers and bank account numbers, and a lot of money can be taken from that. So that's definitely something dangerous, and things like that are what I hope to fight against in my future career. So handling the situation, they hired a new chief information security officer. So they thought the idea of bringing in new staff would help out, and the guy who they hired is actually the same guy who helped out Home Depot when they got hacked by something. I don't know the exact story, but it's the same guy, and so they brought him in thinking he's going to help them out, and he did just that. They spent $200 million in new data security infrastructure, that's a pretty penny. I mean, but I guess if you think about it, it's cheaper to spend the money on defense than it is to spend the money and paying people back or reimbursing them for their loss, at no fault of their own. And they agreed on a $425 million settlement with the Federal Trade Commission. So that's another big chunk of money, and it just goes to show. I mean, in total, at least they've got $625 million here because of one data breach, because of a couple of hackers, and stuff like that it's just how it works, and it's sad that the country's come to that. But I think that all the more reason why I should do everything I can to help prevent stuff like this. How I contribute? Well, I always try to be the highest contributor in everything I do. If I'm ever working on a job or something and I'm working with other people, there's no one out there who's working harder than I am. I pride myself on my work ethic. I get the job done as quickly as I can and as high quality as possible. I don't like to take shortcuts because, if you take a shortcut, eventually something's going to fail. But if you know that you've done everything to the best of your ability, and then more than likely it's not going to fail. I'm a very strong-willed kind of guy. I know what's right, what's wrong. It's very simple. It's black and white. It's some people can be clouded by greed or personal whatever it could be. It's just for me, I'm not like that. I'm very very strong-willed, and I got very very secure morals, and I like to make sure that the right thing's always getting done. Leadership. Well, I always like to lead by example, because I know that when I was younger and I was getting led by people like such as on my baseball team. Just for example, when you have one of the older guys come and stick a finger in your face and tell you what you're doing wrong, it's pretty easy for somebody to throw up their defense and not even listen to what's going on. So I like to take a different approach, which is leading by example. And basically, if somebody's doing something incorrectly or doing something wrong that I see, I'll make a point to show the right way to do it and then address it. So that way it's like I wouldn't do anything, or I wouldn't ask anyone to do anything that I wouldn't do myself. And that's I think that goes a long way with a team and working together. And then again, on teamwork is leading by example, helping them do the right thing is hoping that everyone succeeds. And if everybody can help each other and work together, that's really just for the best. I also have attached a link to my resume here, and I'm not going to go in depth with the whole resume, but I will attach just a plain um, presentation to this email as well, so that way you can look at that if you'd like. But this here is my resume. I've got some stuff for my education, work experience, stuff like that. If you'd like to take a look at it, I would appreciate it. But get back to the presentation here. So, ethics and morals in cybersecurity, I think that's probably the most important piece of it, because it can be a very, very big threat if this education is learned by the wrong people or learned for the wrong reasons. And that's goes to I think the five really important core values here would be integrity, honesty, responsibility, reliability, and patriotism. Integrity, always doing the right thing, whether nobody's looking or whether everybody's looking. It shouldn't make a difference whether you're being watched or not, on if you're going to do the right thing. Honesty, I've learned that I've learned that a lot of people are not honest, and it's a shame, but it's hard to change other people. But I know for a fact I can control me. So I like to always shoot straight with everybody and basically be upfront. If I got something going on, or if I see something, I speak what I see, and as long as it's the right thing, I always like to try and help everybody else to make the right decisions. Responsibility, a little quote from Spider-Man, kind of silly, but it really relates to stuff just like this. Really relates to everyday life. And he said, with great power comes great responsibility, and that's really a key factor in this. An education in cybersecurity is a great power, and like I said earlier, it could be used for the wrong things, and the responsibility piece is using it for the right things and doing good things with that. And another piece of responsibility is making the right choices, even if they're the hard ones. Even if I or somebody may suffer a loss, or it may be harder to do something, doing the right thing will always be the best way out of things, or the best way through things. Reliability. I feel that being reliable is something very important, because when someone asks me to do something, or I'm tasked with something, people know that they can count on me to get it done, or to do it correctly, or do it to the best of my ability. And the last one is patriotism, because I feel like there's a lot of cyber terrorists in the world, and some people might learn this to turn their back on the country, and I'm not that way. I am, like I said earlier, very, very proud American, and I'm very lucky to be able to call myself American, and I would like to really dedicate my career to helping make it a better and safer place. So my approach to this would be preparation every day, which is, rest and eat. Obviously, that's your fuel, is the way I look at it, and it's kind of an analogy, but it's it's the fuel for the day. So, and reviewing material is obviously it's important to succeeding in school or succeeding in a job. Knowing what you're going into, knowing what you're talking about. Time management is one thing that I've learned over the past year or two, and I've gotten pretty good at it. And that's really just prioritizing what needs to be done versus what you'd like to be done. Because sometimes those two things aren't always the same. A lot of people might be a lot more fun to go hang out with your friends, but you need to get some things done around the house before you go out, or you need to get some things done at work before you go. So stuff like that. Studying time is will take up a lot of my free time at Montreat College, given that I won't have a whole lot of it with playing baseball and working out and practicing and playing games all the time. But I mean, bus rides and stuff like that will really be my study time. And as well as, after I get done with baseball for the night, go home, or actually start go to my dorm and review for the next day. And one thing that I actually learned is tutoring is really not that bad. I took a pre-calculus class at a community college. I'm currently a senior in high school, but I did dual enrollment, and I had to ask my teacher for help, and then we started tutoring once or twice a week sometimes, and really helped me out, and I ended up passing the class with a pretty high grade, so I was pretty happy about that. But that's pretty much all I got, and thank you so much for considering my application. I appreciate it, and I will see you in the fall.